Hello. Hello. Hi. I just like saying that. Hi. Hello. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Susie Q at susieacunyadia@gmail.com, and you're watching My Stage, Your Platform. If you have already subscribed to this channel, I thank you very much and welcome back. For those of you who are viewing and have not yet subscribed, please do not forget at one point during this video, press the subscribe button on the right, click out on the right side of this video and join the Q Stage wagon. I don't want to keep blabbing because I do have a very important guest in the studio today to talk about gray hair. Now, as you can see, I am wearing gray hair myself. I think it's a very beautiful color. It's neutral for all ages, young or old, anybody can rock it. And I find that it's a color that people shy away from. I find people who actually have the chance to go gray, and I think they should give it a chance. My guest hair, a beautiful gray white hair, I've always admired it, and I figured why not invite him to talk about it and convince others out there that just let your gray out and see how nice it can be. If I can rock it, can you imagine? You can even do better than I can. So let your gray out and let me leave the stage and give the platform to Rob to talk about gray hair. Don't go away. Stay tuned.
Susie, thanks for having me back in your studio. You've asked me for some reflections on my gray hair, which now it's 29 years that I've outed myself on my gray hair. I'm still amazed if I walk through a bank where there are a lot of windows, mirrors, let's say, in a mall or in the office, that I see all this white behind me. I guess it's similar to someone who maybe has a bald spot and he walks past and he notices it. Even though he knows it's there, it's still a little bit shocking. And I said reflections. This won't be a diatribe or a rant or any kind of homily. It's more like a little quick blurb. I would think in this COVID-19 time we're in right now, people are probably experiencing gray hair, more gray hair than they've ever experienced. And my thought is, stay the course. You know, when I was 30, I started to turn gray, and I didn't like it at first. I started dyeing my hair. Not professionally. I used a bottle, and it was dark. It was dull. It was kind of dismal, downright depressing after a while. So I told myself when I turned 40 years old, that's it. I'm not going to dye my hair anymore. And 40 years old, boom. It's 29 years ago. I'm now 69. Out came the gray, salt and pepper, white eventually. But I remember a few months in, I went to the dry cleaner, and the gal there asked me, she said, what happened? You had dark brown hair. I said, well, I was scared. And of course I was kidding. Most people seem to like the gray hair as it came out, but most people will be nice regardless of what you look like. Oh, I like the gray, or they wouldn't say anything. Although we were out one time with two couples to dinner, and a woman said to me, a woman I knew real well, she said, you know, Robert, you should dye your hair back, make it dark. I said, but I like it this way. She says, well, I really don't. And I thought to myself, well, the arrogance, hubris, temerity, audacity, whatever you want to say. She's telling me she didn't like my hair gray. I think it was because she felt my gray hair detracted from the group, that I looked a little bit older. And I know now, 29 years later, she still dyes her hair, this woman, and it's dark, and that's certainly her prerogative. But I liked my gray hair. It was easy. It was so easy to have gray hair, just to, you know, you didn't have to do anything. A colleague of mine at work, he had beautiful gray hair. And suddenly one day he made it jet black. And I thought to myself, wow, he looks older. Because as we age, we start to pale a little bit, and our skin tone, and the contrast is so great. I thought he looked younger with the gray hair and older with the dark hair. I didn't say anything. It was his business, again, his prerogative. And I went to college with a gal, and I saw a picture of her about 5 years ago. Long gray hair. I thought, beautiful. Look at that gray hair. Next thing I know, saw another picture. She dyed her hair blonde. Again, I thought, oh, stay with the gray. And it can be humorous at times. You know, my son, when he was young, one time we were driving along, he was 10. I was 45 at the time. And he said to me, hey, Dad, how come you have gray hair? Because none of his friends' fathers had gray hair. And I was a little bit older. So I snickered a little bit and just told them that's the way my hair was. I told my grandsons that I once had dark hair, and they were a little bit perplexed looking at me. Really? Grandpa had dark hair? My daughter's got a great head of brown hair. And I thought to myself recently, boy, that'll look great gray someday. Although she may never want it to go gray. It just seems that now is the opportunity. It's almost like smoking. Well, maybe that's a bad example. People give up smoking for 6 months and they go back. Well, now people are in the gray hair area. And I say stay the course. It's easy to work with. I think it looks good. I think that a person, you know, I kidded sometimes with my clients. I'm in finance. I used to kid clients who would come in, more often women than men, and they'd have their hair dyed. And I would say, my goodness, your hair is amazing, how it's so dark. And I was doing it tongue-in-cheek, of course, my hair being gray in front of them. And sometimes they would say, you know, I dye it, Robert. But sometimes they wouldn't, and I'd just keep it to myself. And I guess they figured that I just didn't know. The rock stars, many of them, still have dark hair, and they're great and talented. There's a few Charlie Watts with the white hair. But I'm amazed the great ones, Mick Jagger, Paul McCartney, tremendous talents, that their hair's still dark, that they still find a need to dye it. I think just go natural. I think people don't want to admit that they're getting older, but we are. And I think if they gave it a shot for a while, they might find it to be a little bit better. I like gray hair. That's all I have to say. Any questions or anything like that? I'm open to them.
Gray is just a beautiful color. So I thank you very much for touching base on this, only because that I would love to see more gray in people who actually have it. So
I always look across the room, and when I see someone with gray hair who's in his or her 50s, let's say, it looks like that's their age. I think, well, that person looks pretty good. Go the course. Go stay the course. You know, maybe they're intrepid. They're not afraid of the societal things or of their own image. And again, I'm not picking on anybody. It's your prerogative. Whatever anybody wants to have, you know, they could be shaving their head. They could be letting go long, put a ponytail. I just happen to find that gray hair is nice. It's easy, and I like it. Thanks very much.
So people going gray, go gray. Don't be afraid.
Right. Go gray.
Right. Power on.
That's right.
All right. Thank you very much, Rob.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Erwin, thank you so very much for doing this. We are at Cafe Kacha. He's going to tell you more about it, but now we want to talk about gray hair. He has such an amazing gray hair, and I want him to talk about it. When did you start going gray, Aaron?
I saw the first ones, I think I was 26 years old, but I was pretty brown before that, and during that time, but after I had the first kids, and then it turned right away. I got those kids, and the gray hair came in faster than the kids came in. It was pretty fast. Look, those gray hair, it works with women much better than anything else. I learned that pretty quick. It's like that. I'm from Austria. I speak German, so they called me the gray fox. I was like, what does that really mean? Is it a good or a bad thing? But I figured out the gray fox. They liked that.
It's so like silver fox.
The silver fox. Yeah, silver fox.
Yeah,
exactly.
Fox.
That's what they said.
Yeah.
I was like, it sounds good. I'll keep it that way.
I hope you never change it or diet. Thank you so very much. Now tell us a little bit. I know Kacha, it's an Austrian restaurant. Can you just tell us a little bit more about your establishment?
It's been here now 13 years. I started up, it's a small restaurant. We grew in size, tripled in size, and it's really traditional Austrian. The idea was to serve a perfect beer with a head on it, with the foam on it, because that's what I never got here in New York, a proper poured beer. And I have a few YouTube clips also how to do a proper poured beer. I'm trying to do now a cooking show. It's just my name, Erwin Cooks. We start doing that as well. So it's just a really traditional Austrian dishes and service, and as we call in Austria, Gemütlichkeit, which is just like sitting together and enjoying the time.
What name do you give it? Just Cafe Catcher on YouTube, or
Just put my name in, Erwin Cooks,
Okay.
ERWIN Cooks, and that's where you
And it will come up.
Come up.
All right, folks, that's it. So this is Erwin. Thank you so much for doing this.
Thanks
See
for
ya.
having me.
Absolutely. Ciao.
Ciao.
Please tell me your name.
Linda.
Linda and
Donna.
Donna. Okay. So can you tell me why you decided to go gray, first of all?
It was easier because my roots were white and I was tired of dyeing it.
When did you notice you were going gray?
A couple of years ago. Well, you know, it's just natural aging process. Yeah, it's just part of aging. Yeah.
So, but in the beginning, did you wanted to dye it
Yes.
initially? How do you get her to have this healthy hair all the time?
All her. It's all what her intake, nutritionally, her standards on what she eats is the outcome of what shows on the outside. Okay, she's very healthy. She walks. She's involved in her own life, and she's done with putting the chemicals on her hair. You know,
And she's an expert at cutting. Oh my
I'm
God,
her
she's a
stylist.
whiz. She's a
Yeah.
whiz.
So, what's the
So-
name of your store?
Essential Cuts by
All right.
Linda
What is the address to it?
at in Elmwood Park, New Jersey. Phone number 201-314-3640. Called Essential Cuts by Linda.
If you don't have gray hair, go to her. She does wonderful cuts. I'm totally bad. I can't style hair. She cuts it so that you don't have to fuss. You can just wash it and go. Any color hair.
Right. Thank you both so very much for doing
Thank
this.
you.
Thank you so much. Thank
It's
you.
Maxwell.
Okay.
I have like in my family, everyone goes like really gray or like really, really white. Like probably by the time I'm 30, I'll have like all white hair. So I've always just kind of didn't really care about bleaching it. I went to a school in Puerto Rico and when I was there, it was the first time I bleached it. I had white hair, which is like what my dad and like my mom and my grandpa, but they're like, you know, like, it's just a full head of like snow white hair. So I've always thought it was really cool. And then so I just like decided to do it recently. I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna. I'm so excited. It's like, do what you want. Like, why does it matter? Like, my mom is probably gonna be like, why did you do that? But I feel like life's too short not to have crazy hair.
Thank you so very
Yeah,
much.
of course.
Welcome back. I have always liked gray hair. I used to braid my hair gray when I was very young, and as you can tell, you know, I just love gray. I think that it suits people of any ethnicity, and I hope that anyone who watch is inspired to go ahead and let their gray out, because I think you're beautiful. Just try it and see. You'll be pleasantly surprised. You might like it actually. What have you got to lose? Just try it and see. If not, you're beautiful either way. But I just want you to give yourself a chance to see if it's something that you would actually like and age gracefully to it. My father grayed very, very early, probably at the age of 13. And I've always admired his salt and pepper hair. He has it right in the middle, one side gray, one side black, and it's all mixed up, and it's just very beautiful. So I've always liked gray, and so I'm very thankful to you, Rob, for sharing your input, and hopefully most of you like it as well. If you haven't done so yet, do not forget to friend me on Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest. I have all the links above or below. Just click on, it's going to take you directly to my page. And also subscribe if you have not yet done so, and so we can get acquainted. If you have any comment at all or any beautiful, wonderful ideas you would like to share with me, do not forget to put it in the comment section or email me at susieakunyadia@gmail.com. And I promise to get back to you as always. I like to hear from you. So I thank you for watching, and join us again for another video on My Stage, Your Platform. I'll see you next week. Cheers.